okayfm 101.7.
Now, me call lawyer Godwin Edigi Tamakloe na me ni kodi komo. Law me mo ache.
Ba kwa mi anopa me chawo ebusiafo ene etiefo nyina nso.
Now, mami mo post we are director legal affairs of the NDC. We are aid dima
Hey, bra kwa mi post now the mami anopa.
Jodamani Mahama. That hine so no. Aha.
Welcome to us.
Marty, your legal thoughts on the said the new crusading guide the buy me why no matete from there 3 weeks ago. As I was answering here, the new weekend crusading guide moved to oust special prosecutor underway. Chief Justice writes to Kissi Agyabeng to respond to allegations to determine prima facie case. Na baby are making kinda yede I unkomwe any say. Was see there are moves to remove special prosecutor SP Kissi Agyabeng from office before the end of the first half of this year. The attempt to remove Kissi Agyabeng from office comes on the back of the petition by Martin Alamisi Kaisa Amidu for the removal of the Honorable Kissi Agyabeng from office as special prosecutor on 5 grounds, including holding a press conference to decry how the courts were handling cases of the office. What is Sia at your saying?
Okay, Brad Kwame. Once again, with you now. The Ekoba in Nana said, I am not personally surprised and Yoma also in respect of Kissi Agyabeng. Now, Brad Kwame makes me ask your man saying, yes, or belonging to NPP, they may belong to NDC. But next no, any deal, next no pan. One year legacy of Benjamin, and yet very good legacy. Na ekobane sanswa sebiu we de manoda sunu aso ye man pini we di 18 years or ye 2 terms agree ebia no we
onyanwie
no the impact on say December no we but what I say na we need the opportunity say I will come back and correct be a mistake, be a mistake. If at the end of the day, you know, the obey will be judged based on some of these things. Welcome, Mr. There's a Supreme Court decision. Civil society groups shooter omode etia yeman peni efa the removal of domelable. But what does it? Now, what kind of Supreme Court judgments now? They were not too kind to the president. But what does it?
Yeah, me too.
That is not the kind of legacy we hear. Because in the first place, you're also a lawyer in Abeye Mampini. I didn't see American way now and say, you see, me, and I want to disclose my interest in this conversation. In fairness, my catch order, I'm running law school, my first year, law faculty. Now, teacher near Ochema, dear, criminal law, a year, Kissi Agyabeng.
Okay.
But what I say? I'm running baby law. You're calling me to the bar, no? Law firm, me ye ejuma ewo hono. Na Kissi Agyabeng and so the same law firm. It makes me can say, and Crawford, Monsieur dear under them, and Ram be ye lawyer ni. Na Kissi Agyabeng then no can be. Into no Oyobia made me say Sebio. I know him pretty well. Now there were instances maybe a lawyer ni a very interesting case. Now on any lawyer for Gabi Asrochidako. Gabi SU my clients. Larry Dogbe for the foundation.
Larry
Alan Dogbe Herald. Intina Kissi the lawyer for Gabi. And I'm the lawyer for Larry Alan Dogbe because Kissi fear Hokote or not the law firm. But what I say, that is the kind, and it's important I disclose this relationship for the sake of the discussion I ever had. Now you see, first of all, Emra Kissi Beye special prosecutor. Sebio Oko Ghana Weba. Min can probate me about 20 news articles. If ye papa Martinamidu, one way or the other, criticizing Kissi Agyabeng. Even before Kissi Agyabeng special prosecutor, Sebio Ube who said now was started attacking or crowd the data. Answer Obeye the special prosecutor. Now Obeye special prosecutor no one guy Bibia Obeye Bia no na criticism no a flow as and when it goes. Now when it gets to that level, now you follow up with a petition. One share it may be so meritorious. But what I say, there may be so much merit in it. But because of the Nadibiana or Kafani Panahontino, na akala the conversation. It will be because an grass are branch you grow penasem cradida. It is the way cradie, and ya dear Sebio, a year surprising. And ya dear, you've ever been comfortable with a Juma or a day or yeno. In an American say, it will be very important, say, Sebi. Omampini, under this circumstance, should have acted like Pontius Pilate.
Not quite.
Sebi, Pontius Pilate, Sebi, no, Sebi, not on ye Jimmy Fool. But no who say, Emrana yedi Judea, and in Kikahun, Eddie Shannon, to manage on behalf of the Roman way. No, who said consistently the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and what have you, consistently had a problem with Jesus Christ and his ministry. So when the accusation came from them, oh, check it, and I don't want my hands to be tainted. No, then, or wash in the hands of the matter. But what I say?
Me too.
But it looks like in this case, the president has taken the view that I am just a conveyor belt.
Mention it says Senka every petition could drew office of the president. There should have been some sort of scrutiny. Okay.
On film carefully.
Baby, our film in substance and form. Well, who said no? There is more to it. So me more chilling quiet.
At the end of the day, no Obian Kase Martinamidu has removed the special prosecutor.
No.
On the country day.
The president.
The president.
Me we share the removal process. If say
now made the discussion no air then air bahon.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I'll let you know something. Many years ago, now Onunyanfobi, Papa lawyer Nibi, your friend of Bright Equity.
Lawyer Bright Equity, yeah.
Lawyer Bright Equity. And now,
search a question of the joint CPP Moons Bibisa.
Fantastic, strong man. And now, other petition about the Chief Justice Aqua. But what I say? To the petition by say, Oman Penny Kufo. And Chief Justice Akwa in Fihono. It will give you a litany of reasons. Into all this petition of buyer. Omampeni kufonso nsa so mu no. Enaja. Or yes, or transmitted the Akoma the judicial process for a prima facie determination to be made. One agbam. A branch ABIFN of Frank J. Chum. Frank J.
Our multimedia, no?
I should think so. I think he's now with the office of the vice president.
I say, no multimedia. No, it's all called office of the vice president. Yeah, Frank J. Chum. Yeah.
I'll just confirm. I'm not too certain.
It's sanity.
Inna, Odi Adebi Court Supreme Court, there be constitutional provision, any the procedure for removal. No, it's supposed to be a confidential process. Now, Osha this particular one now, and some are Prez Akufo so for the removal. No? Or the abetuja, and there is newspaper publication to that effect. So I undermine the constitutional provision for secrecy of the removal process. At the end of the day, Supreme Court is now can say, to the extent that petition Ankasano has been put out, among other things, no, it amounts to or unconstitutional. And then the ma Prez Akufo petition for the removal of Chief Justice Akwa, it never materialized. But you see, Omampeni Nanado Dankwe Akufo Addo, they now lowered the threshold. But what I say, lower threshold, no, when it came for the removal of Charlotte Osei. Lower threshold.
By doing what?
Immediately na nensaka ya na ba na aja odekoma the Chief Justice then.
Ati say we ya bi no. Okay.
Na Chief Justice there no. But etini yo. Eti committee. Committee out here no. My Lord Justice Mafusao, Justice Benny, Agnes Doji, and Abrampa. There were 5. Omuye no more recommended say Oyi Charlotte Osei. You see that I am assembly of I am maker. Uchasa.
But maybe said your Muamokano. Not there were near Mawudua so a for her removal.
Brakwame. You see,
so I move to preoccupy and can say, okay, you know,
remember. I would say, Ghana, you are back or semu. Intino, I'm not near your 1992 constitution. No. Yes, you are back or sem. Your checkered history. And you had the mechanism in the 2 constitution where we said, you are very careful so that Sebi. And your man are call so and can't it no. Your man and your name in CPU. It's also yeah. There's Riakutu, Sokai. Bafo Akutu, the then chief linguist for Otupo. So kind of.
I Riakutu. Wouldn't we say eventually or dance one prison for 8 years? Yeah,
the chief linguist for Otupo.
Yeah. Oh, that 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, Doctor Usafi Yakutu Papa Otupo chief linguist.
Former Greek minister. No, the chief linguist, Emma Lotun for them. National Liberation Movement in Sense.
NLM. Now, when we do baby crown, na konya odieno. Otu fo butu akonya no. Se odimenhia ekowura amanyosemu.
Exactly. It is animal we now call so a court in same degree. Later, then there was another trial. Terry Adamafio, no.
Terry Adamafio, yeah.
Omuye Yens and same degree by no. Now the then president was Akufo. Abakosem, say he was not happy with the outcome. It's your crime be so a chief justice. Intino. From that time, no yeah so. Sesiano, kwaya ye dibe yin krofo a said you ye di dwuma tutu bi dia che omo nsamo. Enkoye at the whims or caprices of the man penny. History now informing our forward march. Inti ye 1992 constitution. But it's in you.
Me too.
Yeah, 1992 constitution. You the provisions been with the two must say Obi to say electoral commission chairperson. Ejuma oye no, I am very sensitive. One year now benya oman penny bia obeta kwan bi so to manipulate say nipa. It is wanya ne ho andi ewo say nipa no ho a. Some of the things obey me and say obey unity. So to avoid that, yempe a mechanism ye de be protect this microphone. But se banum pokrasi ye pesi yen nipa ne dia. It should be on very high grounds. For instance, corruption. And as the FNO stated misbehavior. Another said you onipani yare. Very and when yare kwadia, you need to constitute a medical board. Medical report the back. So at all times, and conform with your 1992 constitution, almost shed that based on your past history to provide the FN security of tenure. Emma Sankrofor. Unfortunately, Nana Akufo Addo to be a man lower standard, which led to the removal of Charlotte Osei. By so doing, and remember, I said, from 1992 to say Mampini Nana Akufo Addo to be a Mampini, you remove you appear through that process. Back when I
me too,
remove you appear through that process. Because it's not something to toy with. It is not something to toy with. In fact, the last time something like that happened may be with these announced judges. And no crowd, there were judicial processes in court and all over. But your man penny by, now acquires the standard has been lowered. In fact, relative to see a BUB, not because Nipano Akubok no corruption, but say you have breached the Procurement Act. So on this basis, you should be removed. And another down Akufo Addo abreso in a bibisa ACA. If you go back, Eko open the other kind of the floodgates. So personally, I'm not surprised. Obi to say. Odumyan for Martinamidu would want to take advantage of that lower threshold. Because, if one of the grounds for the removal of Kissi Agyabeng is that Kissi did a press conference, but they now what kind of crusading guide? Say, or your press conference, Ankonam press conference, express the disappointment. And on that basis, he should be removed from office.
Emma, oye kwaso satonyum anko numa medimigrabo for
How can a press conference to, as it were, to express disappointment about one or two issues or judgment coming from the court? Sebi. Emra Nana Akufo Addo Eyeman Attorney General. Oko Mr. Chachuchikata echo Supreme Court to challenge the constitutionality of the fast track High Court.
Yeah, sure, Mikai.
Okay.
The then Chief Justice, radio, was it radio or something?
Radio,
yeah.
later, aqua,
Ebai.
Iti, assembly court, the ordinary bench, declared the fast track high court unconstitutional. Satan and another attorney general. It's a decision about many angles. What I say? And now, or call for review. It's a review, yeah, the Nipan you do back account. I think somebody afraid any lumpy in a becca the initial 5 no and a bay 7. You know, more reverse the decision. Nana call hot issue TV3, then Attorney General. And now Oko can say the decision of the ordinary bench panel, okay, is what you describe artificial scholarship. Said you judge in each one a judgment. Now we describe it a judgment as artificial scholarship. It's the greatest insult you can insult a judge. Could you have said because the Attorney General he had made that statement, it was grounds for his removal? Certainly not. He was expressing his genuine view at that time of what he considered the initial decision of the court. Now, said you Obiako court decision about or say I am not happy. This is my view. I cannot be happy with this decision. Now, say on that grounds, he should be removed from office. But what would have given Sebio Onyanfo Martinabidu the courage? It's because your man penny nana to dan kwekufa the no be your man penny no will lower the standard. That constitutional threshold to remove these key appointees, no. It provides you that security of tenure. So, without fear of faith. Now,
law, I bring to Mammy Miss a question. Ma'am, the establishment of the special prosecutor. Who throw petition? I mean, sir, the special prosecutor is being regulated by the board. It's either a letter, no. Board no any letter ni be. And now I want to say by that petition, no, then we court Chief Justice without recourse to the board.
Okay, so you see, Emrana, you make it the special prosecutor Emrano. In fairness, even though a man that constituted the board, no, we didn't want a situation where, because the president controls the board, you have more to me to remove the special prosecutor. Because if you are not special prosecutor, you are the man beneath it. It will be instigating the board members not who are constituting.
Okay.
To remove him. So when it comes to the issue of the removal, no, Parliament anticipated this kind of scenarios.
Okay.
It was said the process for removal of a justice of the Court of Appeal, the process for the removal of the Auditor General, the process for the removal of all those constitutionally protected individuals, NCCE, Commission for Human Rights and Justice. Because you see, you can have a situation where the president himself will be the subject matter of investigation by the SP. Now, the Kobasa when now putting the board together, you are think that the board will allow him to be removed or investigated. They will quickly come and remove him. So Parliament anticipated this mischief. And that was the question of removal of the SP from the board.
Okay.
Ordinary company, board members can remove the managing director.
Sure.
But in this particular scenario, because of the sensitive worker or you are taking the constitutional provision for the removal of Superior Court justices and others to apply to the SP.
Okay.
So as for the board, they cannot have a say in this particular conversation. you undermine the constitutional order. To make the nuclear completely away from it. So I strongly believe, sir, I think that the president should have exercised a bit of restraint. He should have exercised a bit of restraint. And the reason is this, you see, as we speak, politics is also run on the basis of perception. Perception. Osha, Ejumadia, Kissi Agyabeng, obviously, members of the ruling government are not pleased with it. One had to do with this investigation into Kissi Agyabeng. The back and forth. The back and forth. Subsequently, is here. When we say civil society groups are gathered signatures on my petition parliament.
Sure.
All these things create a certain narrative. Look at the circumstance under which Domelevo was removed.
And he's among one of the petitioners,
Exactly.
So one of the petitioners. Yeah, he's among the petitioners.
I was expecting, say, the advisors of the president would have asked him to exercise a bit of restraint. Self-restraint is very important. No, I should think through deeply. Obviously, if the president is someone who cares about his legacy, you look at it carefully. But it appears that where we have gotten to, the president had really checked out with your mind, even though he's in the country. And that, for me, is very key.
Okay.
Yanko Sheni Abraham.
If
Kissi Agyabeng is removed by the president, history will recall that Nana Tamakloe removed Kissi Agyabeng. And one day will be crowned on for Kaifran who say, na Martin Alamisi in a petition by. It's a highly sensitive matter. You know, there is popular saying you say, when you fight corruption, corruption will fight you. If you are also not one share, one of the greatest temptation as in Christ Jesus. I have according to Bible, the temptation on the cross. Okay, Bonnie ni baako. Say, so only the Son of God who will truly be brave. Save yourself and save me. When Mr. Christ was the power to save himself, he had the power to save himself. But you remember what he said? He looked at the other person and said, you'll be with me in Paradiso. It is sometimes no. It is not the question say we need to know, but as one going ahead, they will say, I deal with a trap, a Fidian Yasumame, and then you jump over the trap.
Okay. No, Mamina was Sianope. Lawyer Godwin, Tamakloe, Director, Legal Affairs of the NDC. John Dramani Mahama, flag bearer of the NDC, your latest form, your partner.
OKFM 101.7.